Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're tackling that big question using the market info you shared. Is now actually a good time for you to sell your house in the UK?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? We see these headlines like HMRC saying transaction volumes were up 4% year on year in July. Sounds pretty good.
It does sound good, a 4% bump. But what's really going on underneath that? What are the actual market conditions like?
Well, the immediate thing jumping out from the sources
Hmm.
is sellers need to be really, really realistic on price. It's looking like a buyer's market in, well, most areas right now.
A buyer's market. Okay, hold on. If sales volumes are up, why is it still favoring buyers? Is it just old stock finally shifting, or is there just loads of new stuff coming on?
It seems to be the second one. There's just more choice out there. Zoopla found nationally 10% more homes for sale compared to last year.
10% more competition.
Exactly. And if you're in London, it's even starker, an 18% increase in listings. So, yeah, your place has got a lot more competition than it did a year ago.
Right. So putting that together with 10% more stuff out there nationally, your asking price, it's really just the start of the chat, isn't it? Not the final number.
Absolutely. Get
Yeah.
that price wrong from the start, and the data's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Overpriced homes, they're taking, on average, 2.4 times longer to actually sell.
Wow. 2.4 times longer. That's a long wait.
It is. And this time factor, it varies hugely depending on where you are. Like down south, sellers are waiting around 39 days on average to find a buyer.
39 days. And the national average is.
35 days. So, the south is already about 11% slower than average.
Okay, so a bit sluggish down south. But what about other places?
Well, contrast that with, say, the Northwest or the Northeast. Up there, much quicker. They're averaging just 27 days to get an offer.
27 versus 39. Big difference. And does that speed link up with price changes?
Directly, yeah. The fastest price growth over the year to July, that was in the Northeast, up 7.9%. And Northern Ireland did well, too, 5.5%.
And London, with all that extra stock.
Yeah. London saw the slowest growth, barely moved, actually, just 0.7%.
Okay, huge regional splits then. But there's other stuff going on too, right? You mentioned something about budget jitters, people getting nervous.
That's right. RICS reported that market confidence has dipped a bit since December last year. And a lot of that seems to be down to uncertainty about potential government changes. Tax stuff, mainly.
Ah, tax. Specifically, what's the worry?
Well, the big rumor, the one causing the jitters, is about stamp duty. The idea floating around is maybe replacing it
Replacing it with what?
with a new kind of annual property tax, but crucially, only on homes worth over, say, £500,000. And here's the kicker.
Go on.
It might be payable by the seller when they sell, not the buyer.
Whoa, okay, that would be a massive change. Seller pays instead of the buyer on the more expensive home.
Exactly. It totally flips who's carrying that cost. And if sellers have to pay this new tax, especially in places like London and the Southeast where lots of homes are over that £500 K mark.
It's going to make selling tougher there. Could dampen demand? Maybe even push prices down a bit.
That's the concern, yeah. It could definitely put a lid on price growth in those higher value areas.
Okay, so this brings us back to you, the listener. What's your plan? Because look, if you're buying and selling at the same time, maybe a slightly weaker market isn't all bad.
That's a really important point.
Mm.
Yes, you might get a bit less for the house you're selling, but you could potentially drive a much harder bargain on the place you're buying.
Wow.
It can balance out or even work in your favor sometimes.
And it also matters what kind of move you're making, right? Upsizing, downsizing.
Definitely.
Right.
Generally speaking, rising prices are better if you're downsizing. If the place you're selling is worth a lot more than the one you're buying, you benefit most when a market's strong.
Right. So even though UK average growth is still positive, what was it, 2.8%? Average home at 270K?
Yeah.
You've got to do the sums carefully.
Absolutely. Factor in everything. Agent fees, legal costs, moving costs. What's the actual net amount you'll end up with? That's the number that counts.
It really is. So final thought then, thinking about all this competition and the different speeds across the country, beyond just dropping the price,
Yeah.
what non-money things could you do to your home? What improvements or, I don't know, unique selling points would actually give you the biggest edge in this kind of buyer's market? Something for you to think about.
Good question. Lots to consider there.
Definitely. Okay, that's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.